Processed cheese products such as Kraft singles and the Laughing Cow La Vache qui rit are often portrayed as convenient, kid-friendly, and even nutritious alternatives to real cheese. But these ultra-processed items are, in truth, industrial imitations of cheese, engineered for longevity, texture uniformity, and profitability, not for nutritional integrity. While they may carry a comforting sense of familiarity, their health impact is deeply concerning. Beneath the smooth, meltable surface of a Kraft single lies a product that is far removed from real cheese in both composition and consequence. To begin with, processed cheese is not just cheese. It is a manufactured amalgam of low-quality dairy derivatives, emulsifiers, salts, preservatives, and synthetic flavorings. Real cheese is traditionally made from milk, salt, enzymes, and bacterial cultures. It is alive, complex, and nutritionally rich when minimally processed. Processed cheese, on the other hand, is a homogenized mixture of leftover cheese scraps, milk proteins like whey or casein, and oils, blended with chemical emulsifiers such as sodium citrate or sodium phosphate to create that unnaturally smooth, uniform texture that slices, melts, and spreads perfectly every time. These emulsifying salts not only bind water and fat, but also create an environment that stifles microbial growth. While this extends shelf life and gives the product its legendary stability, it also makes it almost impervious to spoilage, which should be a red flag in itself. Real food decays naturally. Processed cheese resists decay, like plastic. The body, however, must work to metabolize the synthetic and refined components, including chemical stabilizers and salt compounds that were never intended to be consumed regularly or in large amounts. The sodium content of processed cheese is dangerously high. A single slice of Kraft singles can contain over 250 milligrams of sodium, and the Laughing Cow wedges can range between 170 and 200 milligrams per piece. That may seem small in isolation, but these products are often eaten in multiples, on sandwiches, in lunchboxes, or as snacks. Excess sodium intake contributes directly to hypertension, cardiovascular disease, kidney dysfunction, and fluid imbalance in the body. For children who are frequent consumers of these products, this sodium burden can quietly strain developing organs and increase lifetime risk for chronic disease. The fats found in processed cheese are another problem. They are often sourced from low-quality milk fat, cream, and added vegetable oils. While some natural cheese contains saturated fat, the matrix in which that fat exists, rich in calcium, protein, and beneficial fermentation byproducts, can mitigate its impact. In contrast, processed cheese lacks that protective matrix. The fats in these products often come in isolation, stripped from any balancing nutrients, leading to a higher potential for raising LDL cholesterol and promoting arterial plaque buildup. Another hidden danger is the use of artificial colorings and flavorings. Kraft singles, for example, contain annatto and apicarotinol, colorants used to mimic the yellow-orange hue of cheddar. Though derived from natural sources, these additives are still part of a food system that prioritizes appearance over substance. The flavor of processed cheese is also engineered, blended with synthetic compounds designed to resemble the sharpness or creaminess of aged cheeses, but without offering the real probiotic or enzymatic benefits that come from fermentation. The end result is a sensory trick, not a nutritional asset. Processed cheese also contains very little in the way of live beneficial bacteria or enzymes, unlike real cheese, which often supports gut health through probiotic strains. By replacing real cheese with processed alternatives, people unknowingly deprive themselves of potentially beneficial compounds that can support digestion, immune function, and microbiome diversity. Instead, they consume a product that contributes to gut inflammation, bloating, and poor nutrient absorption, particularly when paired with other processed foods in a typical Western diet. The broader issue with processed cheese is how deeply ingrained it has become in everyday meals, especially in children's diets. School lunches, fast food sandwiches, and home-cooked meals frequently rely on processed cheese for its melting ability, cheapness, and convenience. But this reliance conditions the palate to accept and prefer fake, overly uniform food textures and flavors. The result is a generation raised on the taste of emulsified fat and salt, rather than on the complex, subtle flavors of natural foods. Over time, This dulls taste sensitivity and increases the threshold for satisfaction, leading people to crave more heavily processed, high-sodium, high-fat products. The health implications are serious. A diet heavy in processed dairy products like Kraft singles and the laughing cow has been linked to increased risk of metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, and even certain cancers. The endocrine-disrupting potential of synthetic packaging materials, often used to individually wrap each slice or wedge, is an added concern, especially when these materials contain compounds like phthalates or bisphenol, which can leach into the food and interfere with hormone regulation. There's also a psychological dimension to this type of ultra-processed dairy. These products are marketed with bright colors, cheerful mascots, and messaging that implies health, source of calcium, made with real milk, or kid-approved. But these slogans are misleading. The calcium, though present, is often less bioavailable than that in natural dairy, and the real milk is typically a fraction of the total content, diluted by fillers, preservatives, and processed oils. These marketing tactics are designed to bypass parental skepticism and normalize the idea that processed food can be part of a healthy diet. In truth, the regular consumption of such products erodes nutritional foundations and contributes to long-term dietary damage. In conclusion, processed cheese products like Kraft singles and the Laughing Cow are far more than just harmless snack foods. They are hyper-engineered, nutritionally diluted, chemically stabilized imitations of cheese that offer convenience at the cost of health. High in sodium, low in real nutrients, and loaded with emulsifiers and synthetic compounds, these foods contribute to the widespread decline in diet quality seen across many industrialized nations. They distort taste preferences, undermine metabolic health, and promote a culture of artificial eating. The more they replace real, whole foods in the diet, the more they accelerate the onset of chronic disease, poor digestion, and long-term physical decline. Reducing or eliminating these products isn't just a dietary preference, it's a matter of health preservation.